they put the gun in her hand. It's Gina. From that moment, Windibank's pawnbrokery became a crime scene. Everything that followed happened in a whirlwind of activity. The arrival of the police, the preliminary investigation of the scene, and the questioning. It was just before dawn before I was allowed back to my lodgings at 221B. All right, well, hello, everybody. Allie here, and welcome to the Gold Mine. Thank you for joining me here on another episode at Allie's Treasure Trove. We do have episode number 15 here today of the Great Ace 30 Chronicles here for our Allie Plays August Takeover, getting into in-game episode 5, Investigation, Part 3. And as you guys saw that little recap there, actually provided by the game itself, we had some crazy happenings at the end of yesterday's episode. So Gina had snuck out. Gina, and to my understanding, wanted to prove to Iris that there's no way the manuscript of hers was still at Mr. Windibank's since Susato had heard of it. She thinks that adults can't be trusted, and Herlock probably sold it, so she went to go see if it was there. That's what I think she was doing. And we went to go see because we saw the lights were on, and Sholmes was like, I don't know, Naruhodo-san, it seems weird. So, went to go check it out. There were two shadowy figures there. One of them shot Sholmes, and it looks like Mr. Windibank is dead and is getting pinned on Gina. So I don't think Gina did it. I think those two shady characters definitely had something to do with it. And it is currently the next day here, April 16th at 6:21 a.m. We are back in the attic here in Naruhodo's legal consultancy. And Susato has already probably left because she had that meeting with Lord Strongheart, which I still think he has nefarious intentions. And we may be here all by ourselves. But yeah, that was definitely a cliffhanger. I was so worried when the anime portion rolled on and Sholmes was being held by Susato. I was like, oh my goodness, they killed our homie. They did not. He seems like he'll be okay. But that was something. That was something. I have no idea what was happening there. One of the figures was short. Is Mr. McGilda not dead? I have no idea. I am not completely convinced that he's dead. Would be crazy if he is some sort of secret crime boss. I don't know. I have no theories at this moment that make any sense. I can't string anything along. I have bits and pieces that stand out to me. What if this? What if this? What if this? And none of it, I can't string it into any one cohesive thing. So we're going to see how this unfolds. So let's get started here. There's Iris. Hello, Iris. Oh, Iris. Telegram came, but all it said was, wait at home. Oh, yes, we asked one of the policemen to have it sent. It was simply impossible to come back. When I woke up, I was all alone. Hurley and Ginny were gone. Everyone was gone. What happened, Runo? Poor Iris. She's trembling. She's obviously trying very hard not to let herself get too worried. I'll explain everything that I know. Something awful has happened, hasn't it? Yeah, you could say that. I'm afraid so. I'm afraid so. Aw, sad music. I'm sorry to have to tell you this, Iris, but Mr. Windibank is dead. He was shot. We discovered it in the early hours of the morning. Oh, yes, I had a feeling. You did? Well, I saw all those police carriages pulling up outside his shop, so I knew something must have happened there. When we entered Windibank's in the small hours, we disturbed a gang of 2 thugs. They ran out onto the street and I chased after them, but they got away. So it was one of them who shot old Mr. Windibank, I suppose. I don't know, but that's not what the police believe at the moment. Oh, why not? They've arrested someone else as their prime suspect, you see? Gina. Jenny? But why? Well, the thing is... No, Jenny wouldn't do something like that. I know. None of us think she did it. Why have they arrested her? I'm sorry. There was nothing I could do. I don't understand why they arrested Jenny. It's not fair. What about the 2 thugs that were at the scene? Why weren't they prime suspects? After all, They shot Hurley dead, didn't they? No, he's not dead. I mean, Mr. Sholmes isn't dead, Iris. This is all so horrible. Thing is, Mr. Windibank was found on the floor in a storeroom where he keeps all the deposited articles. And the storeroom door was locked from the inside. I see. But he wasn't alone in there. Gina was found next to him on the floor as well. Oh no! And according to the detectives who investigated afterwards... Don't tell me. There was no one else in the room? Yes, exactly. How did you know? It's the only explanation. Yeah, the only explanation indeed. What do you mean by that, Bruno? Well, what can I say? I'm damned if I agree, damned if I don't. Well, Iris, you see, I was also accused of a locked room murder, and it turns out the room wasn't locked at all. It got done so afterwards. So where's Hurley then? Is he still there investigating the scene? We did go a little out of order, but I wanted to see what she had to say about Gina. You really ought to have some breakfast. It's not good for him to miss meals. I don't want you to worry, Iris, but I have some news about Mr. Sholmes. He was taken to the hospital this morning. What? Well, when we entered Windibank's, a gun was fired and he took a bullet. Hurley was shot? Why'd you phrase it like that, Ryunosuke? That was such a weird... Oh, someone shot a gun and I happened to get hit by it. It's like, no, he got shot. He got shot. It was intentional. It just wasn't random, like, oopsies. Weird phrasing, but maybe he thought it'd soften the blow. I have no idea. No! It's alright. His life isn't in danger. Really? Are you sure? Where is he? Which hospital? He's at, St. Sinners. They're attending to him there. Interesting. Interesting name. I must see him at once. I'm sorry, Iris, but you can't. Why not? That's not fair. I'm a family member. I should be allowed. No, I mean, nobody can see him at the moment. He's not allowed any visitors. They're preparing to operate, you see? To operate? Oh, poor Hurley. Oh. It was the two thugs who had Mr. Windibank's shop. They shot Mr. Sholmes when we disturbed them, you see? It was pitch black inside the shop at the time. My mind went totally blank, I'm afraid. I just froze. After them! Go! After that, I ran out into the street, but, well, they were long gone. I shouldn't have hesitated. I'm so sorry. It's my fault, and I let them get away. I think that's a very good thing. Sorry? Well, if you'd seen which way they went and chased after him, you might have been shot as well, Bruno. That's a good point. They probably would have tried to kill you too. On top of everything else, I couldn't bear that. Oh, Iris. Alright, let's talk about Susato. Where's Susie, Bruno? She's still at the police station. Oh, okay. Oh, why? I expect she's still being questioned. The police said they wouldn't be finished for a while. Why are you there, then? Well, I didn't get a good look at the criminals anyway, so they weren't questioning me for long. And Miss Susato stayed behind at the scene to tend to Mr. Sholmes, so they didn't get started until later. Ah, I see. Besides, one of us had to come back to be with Iris. I'm glad Inspector Gregson agreed to me leaving early. You should have let me know, and I would have come to the station. I'm afraid I'll need to go out again now, Iris. There's not much I can do at the moment, but I can at least try to find out how Mr. Sholmes and Gina are getting on. I want to go too. Take me with you, Bruno. I can't stand just sitting around here waiting. I'm not sure how I feel about taking a 10-year-old child to the scene of a murder, but I don't want to leave her alone here either. All right then, Iris. Perhaps you can help me? Oh yes, I'd love to. Gina's at the prison. Mr. Sholmes is probably in his hospital bed. Don't forget we have to visit the crime scene. We need to conduct a thorough investigation. I like how she has the glasses. She looks cute with the glasses. I mean, Iris is pretty cute anyways. I don't know why she has like a 50-year-old Southern woman's accent. if anything, she should really have the Susato voice, and Susato have a different voice. But I like Iris. Ah, I can see you're ready for action. I imagine Iris would appreciate going to the hospital sooner rather than later. Alright. Let's click on the shovel. That spade has been in here since you started renting the place. Bruno, that's not a spade, it's a shovel. Ah, you're a shoveler, are you? I had a feeling you'd pick me up on that. Oh no, a pig's something else entirely. Now I've dug myself into an even deeper hole. Alright, interesting. Was there a time we had Sholmes in here? When I was looking in the achievements, when we unlocked that achievement the other episode for clicking on that one shoe, and it popped up over here saying the woman, there's an achievement for getting into all these shovel spade arguments. So I was like, let me click, Iris is here. So I wonder if I already missed one. See, I don't like looking at the achievements because I feel like it's like leading me where to go, but also getting random achievements and then missing some along the way that I just didn't think about also bothers me. It's a lose-lose situation. I don't want to look and be hand-fed all the achievements, but I also don't want to miss any. Especially now that we have a couple of the weird random ones. So, I don't know, maybe eventually I'll go back and do another playthrough in my own time and get those missing achievements. There's also one I was looking already long gone, so there's no way to 100% in this one run. But I guess from the very first trial, when you were presenting in the court case who the victim was, is saying everybody except the Dr. Wilson. This is some weird achievement. And I was like, oh man, I don't like presenting wrong answers on purpose, so I would have never guessed that one, but yeah, I think there was maybe one time up here with Sholmes, but I don't know if we were investigating. But anyways, anything else for me to click on? There's the T. The room doll. I mean, we've already read through all this stuff. We just have what Iris has to say about it. Alright, let's move. I want to go visit Sholmes. New location, the prison. Alright. Saint Sinner. It's an ancient Kat Von D. Well, not only a makeup palette, but also perfumes. Saint and Sinner. I don't know that I've actually used that one. I have a ton of... I know I've mentioned this during the alley chats. I have a ton of older Kat Von D makeup. Before she started going super haywire. I know there's always been things said about her, and I was like, okay, well, looking at the information, I was like, give her the benefit of a doubt. Looks like both sides have evidence that says they're right, so I'm like, alright, truth's probably in the middle, and then jumped off a cliff, and I'm like, alright, yep, nope, not going that way. Alright, we are in the St. Sinners Hospital, ward number 3. Lots of stuff I want to click on here. This does not look like the world's best hospital. And we're gonna have some emotional stuff going on here. Hurley! Oh, Hurley! Oh, he's not even here. He's not here! No, that's strange. The nurse definitely said he was in bed by the window, didn't she? Ooh, I know what's probably happened. Hurley was being a big baby, and the bullet wound wasn't that bad after all, so he's been sent home. Not so sure about that, baby or not. There's no question that it was a fairly serious injury that Mr. Sholmes suffered. Hey, don't tell Iris that! What? Loose lips Renosuke over here. Hello, what have we here? Oh, it's the Bobby. This ward is off limits, no visiting. So what are you doing here, eh? Well, I'll have you know, we're Hurley's next of kin. Eh? Oh. Well, begging your pardon then, ma'am, sir. Little lady and curious Eastern gentleman. The great mystery solver has a mysterious family, eh? And if that's how you see us, sure. Where is he, Constable? Where's Hurley? I believe he's currently in the operating theater, ma'am, undergoing an extensive operation. Extensive? Yeah, it's been several hours since he went in. Oh dear, is he going to be alright? Well, it doesn't appear to be working, you see. The anesthetic, that is. Oh. I have heard a report that the gentleman claims he may have had a little too much to drink last night. Coffee, that is. Anyway, I think it would be fair to assume that he won't be back here for several hours yet. I see. Thank you, Constable. Perhaps we should leave and come back later. Sorry, Iris. Oh, poor Hurley. Poor Hurley indeed. You know what? I'm still gonna click on everything possible. Can I click on the broken walls? No. What about the trash? No. What does this say? There's a notice board on the wall here. Look. Let's see. What does it say? Thought of the day. On seeing any vermin, calmly and discreetly inform matron. Yeah, this is such a high-quality hospital. Oh yes, they have rats and mice in hospitals like this that love to feast on all the medicine. If you don't deal with them, there's nothing left to treat the patients. Rats and mice? Oh, I see. This is a rather old building, I suppose. But the doctors and nurses are all very good, I hear. I certainly hope so, for Mr. Sholmes' sake. That's good. Sholmes might catch the Black Plague while he's in here, but at least they'll take care of him. There's the bed. This must be Mr. Sholmes' bed. Poor Hurley. I know. It looks as stiff of a board, doesn't it? Oh, I don't think that will bother him. No? I often find him asleep face down on the floor, completely dead to the world. I think I'd call the police if I discovered someone like that. That's the Sholmes. It's the Sholmes special. All right, I wanted to click on this thingy. All right, I'll use my keyboard. Got some crutches. I wonder what these are. Do you have any idea, Iris? Oh, haven't you ever seen crutches before? Let me explain. They're for people with leg injuries to help them walk. You hold one under each arm, you see? Ah, right. I thought they were weapons of some sort. Why would there be weapons in a hospital? And I thought maybe a fighter had been injured in a battle contest and been brought here along with his weapons or something like that. Rudo, you're such a silly goose. That's surprisingly plausible. Alright, so I think we're done here. I guess we're moving along. Yo, Gina, what's up? Gina, you killed somebody? No. Cool. That's what we thought. Alright, going to cell 13. Hello, Gina. They let you keep that? No wonder they think you shot him. Oh, you still have the grenade launcher Hurley and I made? I wish she wouldn't point it at me all the time, though. What are you doing here for? Jenny? I have a feeling it's because of us that you've ended up in trouble. So we were thinking that we might be able to help you. Well, you can't. Sorry. You heard. Get lost. Don't be like that, Jenny. I know you didn't do it. You'd never shoot someone. I just know you wouldn't. You think you know me? Pull the other one. Oh. You ain't got the first idea about the likes of me. I'm a thief. I pinch people's purses when they're walking down the street. That's how I get by. And if I saw my chance, I'd sneak into a pawn shop any day of the week. Just see what I can lay my hands on. Get it? That's the kind of person I am. But Jenny, I'll be in court tomorrow, they said. Some cove came by and said he'd be a lawyer for me on the lake. Said it was my right or something. But I told him to get stuffed. I don't need no lawyer, I don't need no one. She couldn't be staring at me more obviously if she tried. Why are you being like this, Jenny? I don't understand, Gina. Why did you send the public defender away? You wanted me to sign some papers. Representation papers or something like that. It's all gonna be rigged anyway, the whole trial. They'll pin it on me because I'm a kid. That's what grown-ups do anyway. Why do you think that? Because that's how it always been for me growing up in the back slums, my whole life. You do what the grown-ups tell you, you'll get your mates dragged off by the coppers, and worse. I've had it happen to me before and all. Been sold out and nearly snaffled on the back of it. Can't trust no one, that's the point. Soon as you do, you're gone to grass, dead. Gina, listen. If you like, in tomorrow's trial, I could forget it. Jenny, don't you trust Bruno? Nah, I don't. Look, I'll ask you nicely now. Just leave me alone. Nope, not leaving you alone. Will you tell us what happened, Gina? Last night at the pawnbroker's. There's nothing to tell. I figured it'd pay me, so I broke into the place and started going through the storeroom. But the old bloke walked in on me and you know the rest. But why, Ginny? Why would you do that? Ain't it obvious? The place is full of stuff I could sell for a shilling or two. Diving ain't easy, you know? It's a lot of work, and half the time you don't even get nothing. Is that really why you broke into the place? What? Are you sure the true reason wasn't something else? I'll give it a rest. What would be the point anyway? Eh? Nothing I could say would make a blind bit of difference. Please tell us, Ginny. We believe you, whatever it is. Believe me, don't be daft. You can't believe nothing. Everyone lies all the time. And you know what? When it comes to liars, I'm the biggest of the lot. I've told some unforgivable lies, I have. What do you mean by that? What unforgivable lies? What did you mean before, Gina, when you said you were the biggest liar of the lot? Why don't you tell us these unforgivable lies you've told her? Maybe we can help. Sorry. We're out of time. They're gonna want to question me now. Jenny, please. Oh, yeah? I wanted to give you this. Something to remember me by. Oh, that's a cute little cat. That doesn't look like Wagon High. Photographic print of a really adorable cat. I found it in one of the pockets of this coat. Ain't no point in me having it. I wonder what a little photograph like that was doing in the pocket of that overcoat. Anyway, don't bother coming again. Bye. Oh, Jenny. Alright, white cat photograph. Came out of the coat, so I feel like that has to be oddly important. Alright, do we, I guess we'll go back to the pawnbrokery. I doubt that Sherlock, or Herlock, will be finished with surgery yet. This is where it happened then? Last night? That's right, the two thugs I told you about were obviously ransacking the place looking for valuables. But, apart from the policemen in here, you wouldn't know anything had happened. There's no sign of a disturbance. No, you're right about that, actually. In fact, if anyone, it's the police who seem to be the ones doing the ransacking. I know what you mean. They're like a gang of organized criminals all dressed in black. Oi, I heard that. Oi, I heard that. Oh, Inspector. Good morning. I suppose I ought to thank you for your vigilance last night. You got to the scene before it was disturbed, at least. Shame you let those two rogues get away, mind? Yes, I'm sorry about that. I thought you'd assign extra man to the beat around here, Gregsy. Now look what's happened. Hurley's been injured because there weren't enough police on duty. Your ladyship! No one told me you were coming! I expect you to take full responsibility for what happened to Hurley and see he has the very best medical care. Of course, your ladyship, the very best doctors in the capital are tending to him as we speak. And I don't think it's Bruno's fault that the rogues managed to get away, is it? Chasing criminals is the police's job. Absolutely, your ladyship, as you say, ma'am, as you say. The jet in black is totally blameless. Everyone's in agreement about that. Would you believe it? He's like a completely different person with Iris. Talk about a personality change. Oh, where I'm in manners. Are you thirsty, your ladyship? Perhaps you'd like some juice? some nice, refreshing fruit juice. Oh, why? Are you thirsty, Gregsy? I have some of my special herbal tea with me if you'd like some. Pinky's out, because he's fancy. Ah, lovely. Thank you very much. That really hit the spot, your ladyship. I don't even recognize him like this. Alright, let's talk. What's up, Gregsy? So, how is the investigation going, Inspector? Nothing to it, really. Very simple case, this. There's some very definitive evidence. We're just about to charge the diver we arrested last night, in fact. Gina, you're going to charge her? That's right! Should be able to bring her before the judge at the Bailey tomorrow. Definitive evidence, you say? What is it? Come on, show me. Your ladyship, as much as I wish I could oblige you, I'm afraid. Ah, I see. You've already captured the pair of thugs who broke in here last night, have you? What the? And you're going to put them on the stand as witnesses, are you? How could you? How could you possibly know that? I had a feeling, that's all. Remind me to never try to keep a secret from Iris. So you've arrested the two men who shot Mr. Sholmes, have you? Well, yes, they were rounded up pretty quickly by the lads on the beat. And Miss Lestrade is being held at the prison? She should be. That's assuming she hasn't lifted the key from the jailer, of course. Let's talk about Mr. Sholmes. Can you tell us anything about Mr. Sholmes? What's his condition? Sorry, I'm not at liberty to divulge that information. Scotland Yard matters are strictly confidential. Well, I know he's being operated on at St. Center's. Why can't I see him? I'm family, you know. I'm terribly sorry, your ladyship. It's the hospital's policy. No visiting at all. Oh. The bullet must have hit an artery in his midriff. He's lost a fair bit of blood. Oh no. He didn't seem too bad in the first hour or so. But a hemorrhage like that is enough to make even the one and only Sholmes pipe down. Mr. Sholmes is a human like the rest of us, you know. Well, anyway, he's having emergency surgery right now. They've got to stop the bleeding. But he will be all right, won't he? They'll be able to make him better. Of course, your ladyship. He'll be as right as rain before you know it. Really? How do you know? Eh, how do I know? Well, because... Of course. Yes, because Mr. Sholmes is such a great detective, that's why. I mean, we'd better pray the doctors have a better grasp of what's needed to make someone well again. Oh dear, please don't die, Hurley. I'll report to your ladyship the moment I hear he's out of the operating theater. I couldn't help noticing, Inspector. What? Out with it, sunshine! Well, there seems to be a marked difference between the way you talk to me and Iris. What's the sauce, Sonny? I'm a copper and we don't go in for favoritism. But he's right, you do treat us differently. It's because of those adventures of Herlock Sholmes stories, that's why. Oh. I crop up in them, don't I? Inspector Tobias Gregson. Oh, well, yes, because you're an acquaintance of Hurley's. What did you write about the inspector, Iris? I don't remember, really. It was one of Sholmes' lines. Gregson is the smartest of all the Scotland Yarders. Is how he put it. Oh, did I write that? And you know what that one line did for me, huh? The very next month, my pay doubled. Doubled, I tell you. Oh, that's amazing. All because everyone at the yard reads them. They all read all the Herlock Sholmes stories. And they've even set up a fan club for me. Of course, that explains everything. It was around that time that became such a toady to me. Can you blame me? All it takes is one bad word from you and Sholmes could change his tune about me. Gregson? No, the great detective will say. He's getting quite overrated these days. Think what would happen to my salary if that came out in print, eh? The whole thing gives me the willies. And I can't tell you how many nights of sleep I've lost to worrying about it. But that would never happen, Gregsy. Every month when the new Rants magazine comes out, my hands are trembling as I turn the pages. Oh, how awful for you. Here, have some of my tea to settle your nerves. Ah, lovely. Ah, very much. That really hit the spot, your ladyship. Teetotal. Oh, yeah, there's something I was supposed to talk to you about, actually, Mr. Naruto. Yes, what is it? I've got an important message for you. Clean forgot about it until now. An important message? I wonder what it could be. Probably from Susato, right? Are you gonna tell me what this important message is then, Inspector? Yeah, it's about that young lady who's normally by your side, your assistant. Dear Susie, is she all right? She's at the station, isn't she? Being questioned, I believe. Nope, not anymore. She had to head off. Head off? Where? The Lord Strongheart's office, of course. He summoned her. Ah, yes, of course. I'd forgotten about that. One of the whipstocks took her there in a yard carriage after we'd finished questioning her. But she asked us to tell you she didn't have the fare for the return journey and to go and meet her there. She's got a nerve using Scotland Yard as a bloomin' messaging service. I see. Well, thank you for passing that on, Inspector. Why did Susie have to go see Lord Chief Justice? She didn't tell me, but I'd better head over to the Lord Chief Justice's office to fetch her straight away. Yeah, so let's go pick up Susato. New location. We got a lot of locations at the moment. Yes. No matter how many times I come here, I always get the same sense of oppressiveness somehow. Do you think the place is oppressive? I think it's normal. How so? I mean, look at that suit of armor over there. You can't take that seriously, can you? Maybe it thinks the same about you. So everything is clear with regard to tomorrow's arrangements, I trust? Yes, thank you very much. There they are, Susato-san and Lord Strongheart. I wonder what they're talking about. They both look very serious. Very good. There is nothing further to discuss. You may return to your lodgings. No doubt you have much to do in preparation for your return to your homeland. Oh. Wait, what did he just say? Your return to your homeland? Susato-san! Oh, Mr. Naruhodo! What was all that about? Ah, Mr. Naruhodo. Thank you for coming to collect your colleague. What's this all about? Why are we talking about Mrs. Sato's return to her homeland? And tomorrow? Tomorrow? What about Jenny's trial? You mean she's been formally charged now? Oh dear. Mrs. Sato, what's all this about? Oh, please don't concern yourself, Mr. Naruhodo. It's only me going back to Japan. Your life here can continue just as it has. That's not what I asked. What happened? Why are you leaving? It's my father. He's fallen ill. Oh no! Professor Mikotoba? If I may? Yes, sorry. You must be the defendant. Rinosuke Naruhodo, I believe? Yes, that's right. My name is Eugene Mikotoba. I'm a professor of forensic medicine at Yume University. We received an international telegram from the Empire of Japan informing us of the news. 10 days ago, Father collapsed with a fever. The cause is apparently unknown, and it seems he grows weaker day by day. I don't believe it. As you are aware, the voyage from here to your country's capital, Tokyo, takes some 50 days. Thought it would be prudent to hasten Mr. Sato's departure as much as possible. Yes, absolutely. I will leave London first thing tomorrow morning. I can't believe this is happening. Aw, I don't want to lose Susato. So Gina has been charged? She'll have to appear in court? Yeah, she was formally charged a few hours ago, and the date of the trial has already been set for tomorrow. No, not even 24 hours later? Gina, the Lestrade girl in the murder of the Baker Street pawnbroker, yes. An all too conspicuous case. Pickpocket was clearly disturbed mid-robbery and shot the man in a panic. No, the yard is overstretched as it is, without wasting time on these open and shut cases. It's not wasting time. Jenny would never do something like that. Mr. Naruhodo. Oh, yes, Lord Strongheart. In deference of your fine services to date, I shall overlook this young girl's insolence. But I have no recollection of admitting a child into my office. Leave, now. Of course, Lord Strongheart. Criminals will tell the most palpable lies in order to evade justice. The police can ill afford the time it takes to unravel all their untruths. Meanwhile, more crimes are perpetrated. We have far more serious matters which to contend. Serious matters? Didn't Gregson mention something like that yesterday? Yes, Inspector Gregson made a similar remark yesterday. It's no concern of yours, though I'm sure I need not remind you of that. Suspicious. 3 minutes precisely until my next meeting. You must excuse me. There's just one more thing, Lord Strongheart, which is, it's Miss Lestrade's trial. I wonder if you might permit me to defend her? A timely suggestion. Sorry? The girl currently has no representation. But that's not fair. Yeah, she may be a pickpocket, but she still deserves a fair trial. Do not misunderstand me, young lady. The government provides for those too poor to afford representation with a public defender. The accused need only sign the relevant paperwork, and a defense barrister will be assigned to the case. However, the young girl in question has refused that right. Why would she do that? A question you would do well to direct at Miss Lestrade. You'll find her at the local prison. Yes, thank you. Now then, it's time I was leaving. Good day to you. What a day. Gina charged with murder, Susato-san about to leave? Come, Mr. Naruhodo, Iris, we must make haste. But Susie, you're leaving for Japan tomorrow morning, aren't you? Don't you have packing and things to do? As Mr. Naruhodo, judicious assistant, my personal circumstances are of no consequence. My sole purpose remains to help you in whatever way I can. Thank you, Miss Susato. That's a very pensive look. I think we ought to visit Gina first. In any case, I should like to wish her well before I leave. Yes, that sounds like a good idea. Let's go. If I'm honest, this has completely thrown me off. I'll just have to do what I can as a lawyer. This place feels so ominous. I don't like it whatsoever. Alright, back to the prison. Go talk to Gina. See if a new text box procs. Alright, seems to be the case. Ah! Hello again, Gina. What are you lot here for now? To have the muzzle of that grenade launcher shoved in our faces yet again, obviously. That's what we wanted, Gina. I think I need to improve the way you load ammunition in that thing, don't I? Look! You can come as many times as you like, but I ain't got nothing more to say to you. Gina, I wonder if you might hear me out. There's something I'd like to say. What? I'm sorry to say that I must reluctantly bid you farewell. Farewell? Tomorrow I must begin my journey back home, to Japan. I fear we may never meet again. Oh, right. I've had the pleasure of meeting so many lovely people here in London. I have so many wonderful memories. And yet, as things stand now, it will be a glum parting indeed. Poor Iris is so miserable. Susie. Well, that ain't my business. Both Iris and Mr. Naruhodo believe you to be innocent, Gina. They've put your faith in you. But somehow, you can't find it in your heart to put your faith in them. Yeah, that's right, I can't. What of it? It grieves me greatly to have to say goodbye to my friends when they are so clearly unhappy. Because of you. What? It's my fault? Yes. So I have one final request, Gina, before our paths never cross again. Right here and now. I want you to show both of them that you don't deserve the faith they've invested in you. Only by doing that will you truly be as alone as you claim to be. What are you talking about? What do you expect me to do, eh? You've told us that everyone lies. So prove it by admitting one of your own untruths. What about what you said before, Jenny? You said something about unforgivable lies. You must tell Mr. Naruhodo and Iris the truth now. That is my last request before I leave. My last request as a judicial assistant. No, I can't. Whatever these lies are, they're obviously weighing very heavily on Gina's mind. Probably that she was never in the omnibus in the first place, if I had to guess. Something like that. Gina, I could be wrong, but is it something to do with what happened 2 months ago? Something about that trial? The one in which Magnus McGilded was acquitted? Ah, the case of that mysterious murder that took place inside the omnibus. You were called as a witness by the prosecution. Is that what this is about? Yeah, you're right. Because, in that trial, I lied. I lied like you wouldn't believe. Will you tell us about it now? Like you said, all happened 2 months ago. The corpus got hold of me and shoved me in the witness stand. And based on your testimony, Mr. McGilded was declared innocent. Yeah, well, the thing is, I lied about a whole bunch of stuff. I knew it. What sort of thing did you lie about? I was hiding under the seat that night. That was the truth. Okay, so she was in there. It was pitch black in that little cubbyhole. Couldn't see a thing. And then I heard that loud thud like someone falling on the floor. And that's when Mr. McGilded discovered you. Yeah. He pulled me out from under the seat and sat me next to the dead man. There weren't much light to see by, but when I looked in my hands and I had the cove's blood all over him. I was so scared. I couldn't even speak. And you had his blood on your hands? In other words, it was Gina that the witnesses on the roof deck saw through the skylight.
And Mr. McGill start asking you questions, I suppose? Who you were and why you were hiding under the seat?
Yeah, he did. Only, that's not all. What do you mean? I mean, he threatened me. He threatened you how? He made me swear about what I'd seen, what I'd heard, and about what he was gonna do after the cove was found dead. He made me swear I wouldn't tell no one about any of it. If I did that, he said he'd let me scalp her before the coppers showed up. Gina, you must tell me what he swore you to secrecy about. What you saw, what you heard, everything. You said McGill made you swear not to tell anybody what you saw. But you were in the pitch black compartment under the seat the whole time, weren't you?
Yeah, so Mr. McGill sitting above your head, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, that's true, but it was when I had the thud of the cove hitting it on the floor. I let out little screams, eh? Couldn't help it. McGill had heard that and dragged me out by my arm. And that's when I saw it. It was on the floor next to the old geezer and had been stabbed. A disc, all bright and shiny.
A disc?
Do you mean... Yeah, that's it. The one what the D took off me at Winterbanks. So the music box disc was there on the floor of the omnibus? Not for long, McGill had spotted it straight away. He picked it up smartish and stuffed it inside his pocket. So that disc was in the omnibus 2 months ago at the scene of Mr. Mason's murder. And the bog trotter told me I weren't to mutter a word of it to no one. Alright, the disc. I wonder what's on that disc. Because it was so dark under that seat in the cab. I was straining my ears the whole time. After a while, I heard the door and the footsteps inside the cabin. Presumably that was McGill getting on board. Nah, not only him. Oh. Because I could definitely make out the footsteps of 2 people. Huh.
In that case, it would seem likely that it was McGill and the victim.
Mr. Thrice-Fired Mason.
In his testimony during the trial, Mr. McGill claimed he slept during the carriage ride.
He did. He said he was alone the whole time. But whenever I'm in a carriage, I'm taken with a fierce tiredness and I will succumb to it.
And your own testimony, Gina, supported his.
All I could hear was the Irishman snoring. Yeah, that weren't exactly true. Neither of them was asleep. I could hear them talking the whole time in low voices. What? What were they talking about? Sorry, I don't know. The sound of the horses and the wheels was too loud.
But that still tells us something. Mr. McGill and the victim knew each other.
So McGill was lying, as I suspected. I knew it weren't gonna take long before someone raised the alarm and the bloke at McGill.
Yes, you were quite right. The other passengers on the roof deck noticed very quickly.
So when the cab came to a stop, McGill told me to hide back under the seat again. I climbed in and waited. 2 coves from up top ran off to get the coppers. Yes, Mr. Fairplay and Mr. First. Right, and after they'd gone, Mr. McGill did ask the driver to do him a favor. A favor? Now then, fella, what I need you to do is take this coat of mine and deposit with a nearby pawnbroker. And for your troubles, let's see now, I'll give you 10 guineas. A nearby pawnbroker? You mean on Baker Street? Yup, you got it. It was the Winterbanks. The coachee snapped up the money and ran off to pop his coat faster than he could. So then there was no one left at the carriage. McGill did open the box under the seat and let me get out of there. Not without conditions.
I see.
What were McGilded's conditions then? For letting you go free, I mean. Not telling a soul, not for anything. About what I saw, what I heard. And there was something else as well. There's more. Yeah. This is the most important thing, he said. I'm after sending the coachman on a little errand for me, with some small change in his hand. Now then, did you hear what I asked of him? Did you see anything at all? At all? You asked him to go pump your weasel, right? Aye. Finn's been taking me coat to a deposit with the pawnbroker's hereabouts. And I want you, lass, to take the redemption ticket for it. Do you understand? What? You want me to have the ticket? That's right. And I'll come and fetch it from you later. Sometime within the next 2 months. You're to hang on to it until then. Is that clear? And whatever you do, don't lose it. Alright then. And in case I might happen to be delayed at all, you have to go to the pawn shop, win the bank, so it is, and you're to extend the loan a full 2 months' time is up. If you forget, the article will be forfeited and any old thing could come along and buy it. Yeah, but I ain't got that kind of brass. Here's £5. That should be enough. Do we understand each other, lass? Don't try anything funny now if you go against me. Yeah, I get it. Good. And one more thing. In a few days from now, you'll be visited by the police, I have no doubt. The corpus? Nay. They'll come asking you to take the stand in court, to testify as a witness. So let's just have a wee chat about that, shall we? What is it that you might say? What is it that you won't? Here's the penguin. Look at the nose. Look at the nose. After he'd gone over it all, I pecked it. Got as well as far away from there as I could. He had the pawnbroker's ticket in some bushes near the scene. Went to fetch it the next day. It got dark. So McGill had planned it and coerced Gina into giving false testimony. I bet you're ready to string me up, eh? I lied in that big old courtroom. Told some corkers. Thing is, he said he would make it so we couldn't live in the East End no more. That's what he threatened me with. What a wicked man. He knew everything what went back on in the slums. He knew we had no one to look after us, and we was all just looking out for each other, getting by together.
So you mean Mr. McGilded would have...
In an heartbeat. He could have had the lot of us chased out of there if he wanted. And then where we have gone, eh? Nowhere, that's where. So, I didn't have no choice. Thank you, Gina, for telling us everything. What? I'm in for it now, eh? Go on, admit it. You must be livid. Well, you can make amends by doing me a simple favor. A favor? What? Sign the representation papers for tomorrow's trial. Eh? If you don't actually want me to represent you in court, you can rip it up later. But we need that paperwork or we can't investigate. The police won't let us. Investigate what? The scene of the incident last night. Mr. Sholmes was shot, you see. You what? Hurley's having a big operation right now, Jenny. Is it bad? Is he gonna be alright? Sholmes gonna be alright, right? And that's why I want to investigate. For Mr. Sholmes' sake, as much as anything. Right. So what you're saying is, if I sign that bit of paper, everyone's happy, is that it? Something like that. Mrs. Otto?
Yes, of course. I have the representation papers here.
I don't need no one to stick up for me, though. No lawyer, nothing.
Poor Judy. She seems so lonely.
Well, at least this should mean we can investigate the scene at Winterbanks now. Yes? And perhaps we can come back to visit Jenny when we're done there. And I feel like we finally cracked Gina. She's opened up to it last. And now I have her representation papers. No one else knows just what a responsibility that is. Anyway, for now it means Inspector Gregson can't stop us investigating at Windibanks. Although, something tells me he's not going to be happy about it. Oh, wow, this was another short episode. So we should be getting into Investigation Part 4 next time, I suppose? This one definitely had a more happy ending than the prior episode. Alright. Yeah, getting into Investigation Part 4. Alright, so interesting happenings here. I remember my first initial impression of Mr. McGilded based off of what Lord Strongheart said. And I feel like that is a very key point to make. Is that, oh, it's very clear. There's no way he can lose. But just in case things go wrong, it's unfair for him not to have a lawyer who should really go help him. So we're like, okay, let's go help this guy. It seemed like, okay, so that means he didn't do it right. So that's why I don't trust Lord Strongheart at all. I honestly don't even trust that there's anything wrong with Susato's death. Susato has been very, very key here in all of our cases so far in letting us know what we can do in order to further our search for justice and the search for the truth in the defense. So I honestly think he's just getting rid of Susato so that he can cover this up, whatever it has to do with McGilded. So I honestly think Big Bad here is something to do with Lord Strongheart. So I don't trust him at all. I think he's lying about Professor Mikotoba's health to send her back because Susato's the one that told us about the summation examination. Susato's the one that pushed for us to be able to question and get testimony from Mrs. Garadeb. You know, Susato's the one, of course, is when you spin through the end and pressing stuff and you don't know what to present, Susato gives you advice, but, I mean, that's not actual in-game context help. That's just Susato's, NPC job when you cycle through the different options. But Susato has been super key. I mean, yes, we're the one that puts stuff together, but in terms of actual legalese, Susato is the GOAT. So I think he's honestly just trying to get rid of Susato. Also, I can't shake it. I know I keep saying it, but he just seems like he reminds me of the Penguin. I don't know what it is. Like, I've seen, in terms of DC stuff, I saw the first couple seasons of Gotham with that version of the Penguin, but when I look at Mr. McGilded, he just reminds me of Danny DeVito. I don't trust. The more I see him, the less I trust him, and of course, as things reveal as they're going through the game, there's especially more and more reasons to not trust him at all. So I think it started out like, oh, he's just this dude, and he's like, yeah, but he's kind of a loan shark, and now it's like, it kind of might be a mafia boss. I don't know, so I don't trust him at all. So I'm curious to see where this goes, and that's why Ginny's tied up in all of this stuff. Gina was, coerced into being able to omit some stuff, fudge the truth a little bit during the trial, which means that McGilded did predict the one and only solution that would get him out of this case and was able to forge the evidence along that path, which is also why he said he couldn't ask for a better defense because it went exactly the way he planned it. So I'm very curious as to what's going to happen. Like I said, I like McGilded, and I do like the character, not in a sense that, oh, he's cool, but just very, very interesting. I want to know what's up with it, and I'm still, like I said, I don't think so. I mean, because they said they caught the thugs, but, they also think they've caught the murderer here in this case. They think they caught who murdered Mr. Windibank, so, caught, use that term loosely. There was a shorter guy. Maybe it's a relative of Mr. McGilded. Maybe it's, a disgruntled partner. Maybe McGilded and Strongheart were partners in crime. McGilded doing his part to, quote-unquote, clean up certain things, and Lord Strongheart didn't want to deal with him anymore and wanted him erased. So I have no idea, but that's, I think, probably what I'm going with. I think they're in cahoots, and I don't trust them at all. So let me know what you guys think about my ramblings here at the end of the episode down in the comment section down below. Of course, I hope you enjoyed it. This is another shorter one. Curious to see, because of course we should have the trial, because Gina's getting put on the stand. So these are a little shorter episodes, but that just means a longer a longer amount of days to get through our final in-game episode number 5. But I'm also concerned that we're going to get like maybe one trial, and that's where the game ends. Because like I said, when we first started here, the massive complaint I heard about this game is that it ends on a cliffhanger here for the first game. So of course, if Capcom did not release them together here in the bundle, that's why it's called the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles, because this game is the Great Ace Attorney Adventures, and then the next one is Great Ace Attorney Adventures 2. So it's the Chronicles, it's both games. So if Capcom had released them one at a time, probably, because I had heard that was an issue, the first game here wasn't initially popular in Japan, because, I mean, why would you want to play something and then get cliffhangered for 3 years? It'd be kind of frustrating if I had to imagine. So they didn't localize this anywhere close to the original Japanese release date for the first game, which is good, because I know I would be mega butthurt, depending on where this ends, in knowing that I have to wait forever. So very curious to see what happens here. And I hope everything comes out all right with Gina. Gina's, I think, should be okay. If I had to guess, I think Sholmes would be okay. I mean, he's a major character. We could have said the same thing about Kazuma initially. I miss Kazuma. I miss him. But we'll see how things develop. But yeah, that does it here for this one. So as I mentioned, you guys enjoyed it. Make sure you hit that like button. Theories, comments, anything from me, leave that down below. And if you're not yet part of the Allie's Treasure Trove family, I'd love to have you join us. Make sure you go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Also, before you get on out of here, do have to give a big shout out to all of my patrons over on Patreon. Thank you so much, everybody, for your above and beyond support. I really, truly do appreciate it. To have 4 Ultimate Excavators, Jack Perez, Keith Muna, Mako, and Stephen Olivo, 3 Gemstone Miners, and in Mark Mardini and Stephen Bly, and 1 Crystal Collector of John Michak. But thank you so much again, like I said, to all of my patrons, whether you're on a tier in which I say your name at the end of every single video or not. Really hope you guys are still loving the content here, and really appreciate, your guys' above and beyond support. So thank you so much for that, you guys. But with that does it here for episode number 15. Very curious to see what happens up next in Investigation Part 4. Our first time getting a 4th investigation part in the series so far. So we'll see how that goes. We're going to go back to Windibank, see what's up. And then I'm assuming at the end of our investigation at Windibank, Gregson will tell us that Sholmes is out of surgery and we'll go visit Sholmes. So that's what I'm anticipating we get on into next time. But that's it for this one. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. I hope you'll join me next time as we get closer to potentially solving some mysteries here on Allie's Treasure Trove. Take care. Like I said, see you in the next episode. Catch y'all tomorrow. Have a good one. Bye.